सुनाई दे रहा है उसको? क्लियर? So, जय गुरुदेव एवरीवन। बोलो परम पूज्य गुरुदेव की जय, पूजनीय भूतनाथ बाबा की जय, सिद्धाश्रम की जय, सनातन धर्म की जय, भारत माता की, and God bless America. So, I am only going to cover the basics today. No getting into the depth of anything, because I'm only going to cover basic concepts. Like I said, don't put the purple flowers first. Or I told her the red tikka, or what to put in Havan Samagri. So these are the simple concepts that we are going to cover today. Because it's nice to do things, but why are we doing things and why are we using a particular thing? That is very important. And then again, why are we actually sitting here? That is most important. So, 3 बार ओमकार करते हैं, and उसके बाद I'll ask you guys a question, and then we start the session. ठीक है? So when we inhale करना है, उसको hold करना है, and then exhale. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. We are not going to inhale immediately. Yes? So एक और बार explaining. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Then inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Okay? So, Hari Om. So when I say Hari, we are inhaling. जब ओम कर रहे हैं हम लोग exhale कर रहे हैं. So, Hari Om. And while you're doing this, feel this part of your body, the stomach, the navel. ठीक है? फिर से. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. So we are all sitting here in the lineage of Siddhashram, which she will explain later कि हमारे गुरुज का lineage क्या है, कौन कहाँ से आया, where have we come from. But I think the most common terminology associated with Guruji was Tantra, right? Everybody I know here is about coming here to learn Tantra. But exactly, and this is a question that I'm putting forth to all of you. What is it that you actually want? Why are you actually here? And be very honest with your answers. We don't have to complicate. ये बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है that we are here for self-realization. If you're here for something else, just be transparent about it. So आप यहाँ किस लिए आए? ऐसे ही, just like that, साधना जी ने बुला लिया इसलिए. Be honest. Very nice. You, गुरुजी सेवा, कल्याणी जी. You have come because she has invited. You, curiosity.
Invited and here in the ashram.
Moini ji. You, you. So I appreciate everybody's honesty, because it's very easy to talk about the Mahavidyas and all of that, but being honest, because let's work on what everybody wants here. Okay? So Tantra, the literal meaning of Tantra is Tanyate Vistaryate iti Tantra. That which can be expanded is called Tantra. What can be expanded? Knowledge. There is nothing as endless as knowledge is. The sky, but knowledge goes beyond everything. It helps you decipher everything. And Tantra, why Tantra? Why not Bhakti Yoga? Why not other yogas? Because Tantra is the only form of, is the only way which can give you both material happiness as well as spiritual evolution. And I'm very happy that nobody said they've come here for moksha or liberation. Because, and whatever I'm speaking today, I think 70 to 80% of this is what I learned from Guruji, what Guruji used to say. Because I didn't read any scriptures unless Guruji asked me to. It was all directly whatever he told me. So, Tantra gives you both bhog and moksha. Ye sochna ki this thought that, we will suffer on earth and we will attain liberation later on. So, as Guruji used to say, there is no golden ladder waiting for you after you die, which will take you to Swargloka. Right? Swarg is not some different realm, you will automatically attain just because you're suffering on earth. This is a myth that we use to make ourselves feel better. Liberation, mukti, is a very different concept. And whether that is the ultimate goal of doing all of this, again, is debatable. Liberation means mukti. If you are here right now, you're very happy. Yes or no? Abhi, is moment today. You are very happy. You are very happy. Each one here right now is very happy. Why are you happy? Because Bhagavan yahan bete? No. Be very honest. If you were dancing outside, you will still be very happy. Why? You're thinking like that. Mausam thanda ho, aap lete hue ho bahar. Again, you're very happy. Why? Because you're liberated, because you're mukta. All this liberation happens here. Right now, abhi agar ye thought hota ki mujhe ghar jaake khana banana hai na, you'll become unhappy even if you're sitting in positive energy. Yes or no? All the positive energy, all Guruji, Bagla, sab yahan baithe hain. If you have to go home and you have to gather $1,000 and give it to someone, you'll be very unhappy inside the temple. Yes or no? So all this liberation, this proves that all the liberation happens right here. If you're liberated while alive as a human being, only then will you be liberated when you leave this human body. And that liberation comes from what? From detaching. Right now you're detached. Husband nahi pata hai kya kar raha hai, bachcha kya kar raha hai, dusra nahi pata hai. You are detached. Jaise hi attachment hota hai, what happens? Yeah. All the liberation, the moment liberation goes away, you become unhappy. Then you start living in past and present. You did this to me in the past, and this is going to happen to me in the future. Right? So all of this happens where? Here. What is the point of mantra chanting? All of this basics. I'm not getting into what does this form. That also will come to. So why should we meditate every day, or why should we be chanting every day? Because that 5 minutes, and I'm talking about very small time, like 5 minutes a day, it liberates you from all the mundane worries of life. And that 5 minutes, Jaise Abhi, when she went into trance, and when you all went into trance, that was a very strong feeling. Why? Because for that 5 minutes, you were not just detached, you were attached to something divine. So when detachment happens, and when that detachment leads to attachment with the divine, that kind of liberation, it lasts throughout the day. And if you get into a practice of doing it every day, it will last throughout the day. And that is why the gurus were always so happy and blissful and without a care. That is why Guruji is still smiling. Because he was always connected to the divine, and that was a form, that was a habit. So today, most important thing that we are going to talk about is meditation or chanting needs to be a habit. And how will this become a habit if I impose restrictions like this colored clothes only, this God only? Yeah, without eating, you have to pray to God. Will you be happy doing it? No. You want to be free, right? If there are too many restrictions, you'll stop doing this. And that is what Tantra is. Tantra was free. Tantra is the freest form of spiritual evolution. There is no need to. So tantrics, jo aghor hote hain, they sit without clothes. They put ash on their body. They don't take bath every day. There is no need to wake up at 4 in the morning and chant. Yes? Why is that? So this kind of freedom when a person gets, then they will be able to connect with God every day. That 5 minutes connection to God is what is important. So there is a story. Narad and Vishnu, they both are roaming earth. Earth pe ghoom rahe hain. And Narad is like, let's pick up who's the most dedicated devotee to you. So Vishnu says, let's go to 3 houses and then you decide who's my, who's the devotee who's most dearest to me. So they go to the first house, a very poor man, but he's a priest. He keeps praying all the time, but all the pujas that he's doing is for someone else. Like she comes, this is my work, this is the reason why I want to pray, and he prays. But he's spending his entire day in prayers. But the moment people go away, the clients go away, then he goes home and sleeps. So he's praying the whole day, but he's not really praying for himself. But kaam kya hai? The work that he does is being in a temple, praying the entire day, right? Second devotee they go to is very rich. He's built a temple. He feeds people every day, right? And बहुत बड़ा, in his own house, he's built a big, huge altar, very beautiful Vishnu statue with gems and everything. So Narad is very impressed. ये है मतलब devotee, and इसके ऊपर विष्णु की कृपा है. That is why he's so wealthy. So Vishnu says, we have one more person left. Let's see that person. The third person is a farmer. He's busy working whole day. So they follow him the whole day. In the morning, he wakes up. He's like, hey, Vishnu. Then he goes to work. Afternoon mein nap ke pehle, hey, Vishnu. Then goes to take a nap. Again, he's working hard the whole day. Just before going to bed, hey, Vishnu. And Narad is confused. Who's the dearest to Lord Vishnu? And then Lord Vishnu says, this person, this farmer is the dearest to me. Because he was busy doing whatever he was doing, but he did not forget me. So it does not matter how many hours a day you spend doing sadhanas. What matters is it a habit? That habit is probably the only restriction that Guruji must have wanted to impose on his disciples. And of course, some dietary restrictions, because again, planets ke saath bahut sara hota hai. So that, be free from all of the restrictions, but sit down every day and meditate. Meditate, chant, whatever, depending on what you can do. That is what pleases God. That is what leads to anybody's spiritual evolution. Okay. So coming to Tantra, Tantra mein 3 main cheezein hoti hai. Tantra, Mantra, Yantra. Tantra I've already explained. It is the technique. Tantra means technique. It is the technique by which one can attain material desires in their life, and then that also leads to spiritual evolution of a person. It's very, very simple. कोई वो मतलब ये भगवा कपड़ा पहन के ये सब लगाने का कुछ जरूरत नहीं. And as everybody's met Guruji. Guruji used to be in normal clothes, right? Eat like a normal person. Was married, had 5 kids, everything. But he was enlightened, and that is what tantrics are like. Okay. Second thing, mantra. So mantra is very important. Man होता है जो मन को मनन करते हैं हम लोग continuously. मतलब what is being repeated in your head. Continuous जिस चीज को हम लोग बोलते हैं वो मंत्र बन जाता है. That mantra could also be I am depressed. That is a mantra. Yes. If you keep saying I am depressed, even if everything around you is already, you'll become depressed. If you say I'm stressed, you'll become stressed. If you use the word stress, suddenly your shoulders will droop. If you just say right now, abhi aap तीनों का position याद रखना, हाँ? Now I want you to say, I am beautiful, I am happy. Bolo. You see your shoulders moved. Did you notice?
Yeah.
Anything happened to you? Because आपने दिल से नहीं बोला. आप ऐसे ही मुंह से बोलोगे ना, तब आप नमः शिवाय भी कर रहे हो, भगवान कोई ध्यान नहीं देने वाला है. I met someone 2 days ago and he told me कि मैं भगवान में मानता हूँ, I believe in God and that is it. बस. I said, so you know you have a wife and kid? And he's like, yes. I said, you believe in them? He said, yes. Then stop earning and giving it to them. Yes. Tab wo wife and child will live with that man. Never, yes or no? But Bhagwan, you expect, will just come and help you, even when you are like, ha, maine maan liya and I don't do anything for it. It's a reciprocal relationship, whether it is between humans or it is between the divine and us also. Expecting God to be like magnanimous and, break all laws, and even God has to abide by laws. We were discussing today. You can't just get everything without giving something. What you give, you receive at least tenfold. And that is why tantric mantras are very important, because these mantras take together, they bind together the strongest of these mantras, and they know exactly कि वो कहाँ पे hit कर रहा है in your body, which chakra, what energy is that invoking. And this is why tantric mantras are able to give a person both material and spiritual growth. And mantra, this is why mantra is important. जब आप I am pretty भी बोल रहे हो, आपको विश्वास ही नहीं है you're pretty. She felt for a second she's beautiful. So suddenly shoulders would get. Yes or no? So when you're saying Namah Shivaya, दिन रात ऐसे ही बोलते रहो Namah Shivaya, शिव जी को भी पता नहीं चलेगा, आपको भी नहीं पता चलेगा. Huh? Yes or no? So mantra means जिसका मनन करते हैं, जो continuously repeat होता है, whether it is Namah Shivaya or whether it is whatever words you use. There is something called as neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and there are NLP coaches now all across the world. There are all of these coaches, right? Success coach, career coach, relationship coach. आजकल तो सबसे बड़ा career यही है. They are the modern day gurus. Yes or no? So when you understand neuro-linguistic programming, it is very, that is what they say, that what words you use actually affects your brain subconsciously. And dhire, without you knowing, it has affected you, it has gone and it has made its space into your head, into your body. Most of the lifestyle, I'm an Ayurvedic doctor. I've studied BAMS, 5.5 years. I'm a proper registered doctor. Ayurveda, and in my personal experience also, and what even doctors will say, lifestyle diseases, which are BP, diabetes, most of this have no physiological reason. It all starts from here. And 90% of the diseases in the books and what people suffer from are psychosomatic. Psycho means the brain, somatic means the body. What you start thinking, you start manifesting, you start somatizing. Somatizing means uska lakshan, those qualities start developing in your body. So when I'm thinking I'm stressed and I start repeating that in my head every day, stress related symptoms will start manifesting in my body. And dhire, that will manifest, and then it will be seen as BP rising, yeah, diabetes, yeah, anything like that. This is why sometimes yoga works better than medicine, because yoga does what? Yoga, if done in the right way, it affects your brain, because yoga means both the asanas and the pranayam and the meditation part, which of course a lot of people don't do. That is why it is very effective. That is why yoga has become very popular. So mantra means whatever you are chanting. Tantric mantras are special. They are smaller. The usage of Bij mantra is such that it gives you effect faster. Again, mantras kaise kar rahe, kaun se time. Again, there is no binding. Like in certain mantras, binding hota hai ki subah hi kar sakte ho ya ye kar sakte. Tantric, we have so many goddesses who are okay with you eating meat. Although in Guruji's lineage and in our, hum logon ne kabhi bhi meat nahi khaya, and Guruji was very clear that if you can avoid eating meat, avoid alcohol, that is the best. And a lot of people I know who came to Guruji who were like staunch non-vegetarians actually turned vegetarians with him. And even otherwise, there are some gods who do not tolerate. Like I went to a restaurant and he had a Hanumanji statue in the restaurant and he was serving meat. I said, I'm a vegetarian. I may sit in your house 2 days. You're eating meat in front of me. I'll be okay with it. The third day, I'll say, I'll eat somewhere else. Because that is how some gods are. They are not very accepting of certain diets. Kali Ma is accepting of certain diets. Some days are complete no-no. So what you are chanting along with your lifestyle makes a huge difference. So mantra is this. Mantra, maybe there are different ways of chanting. One is when you're chanting it aloud. They say Om Namah Shivaya. You're chanting it aloud, right? The effect of that is a little lower than when you're chanting in your mind. And then there is another way where you're, again, usme bhi, there are certain yogic techniques. When you do that, the effect is even higher. The final stage of chanting mantras is ajapa mantra. Ajapa mantra means you're not even chanting. It is just going on in your head, in your body, 24/7 continuously. That is the stage one needs to achieve. Mantras का basic जो अनुष्ठान दिया गया है for planets, नवग्रह, it was 80,000, which was given by Guruji. So whatever you are chanting, one mala has 108 beads. 108 में से 8 हटा के 100 को काउंट करके 100, counting 100. So 80,000 for the grahas, which is, so that means 800 malas. For other gods and goddesses, yeah, deities, the count is supposed to be 1.25 lakhs, which is 1250 malas. So सवा हजार माला करनी पड़ती है, 1250 malas. When you do that, it is counted as one anushthan. And then after that, there is tarpan, there is marjan, there is havan, 10%. So this is the basics of mantra. I'm not getting into the details. We'll get into the details as you people start chanting and all of that. Yantra. What is yantra? Yantra यहाँ एक भी नहीं है. कहाँ है? Okay, so yantras, if you've seen, उसपे there are triangles, there are angles, there are dots. Ha. So if you see, there are petals, there is a rectangle, there is triangle, there's everything. So what exactly is the yantra and what exactly is the goddess? When you see Bagla Ma with the wo khadga, so do you think exactly जब बगला साधना करोगे तो खड़ग आ जाएगा हाथ में? No, right? When you see Lakshmi Ma, she is sitting, she gives, there is a pot of वो kalash, and then there is money. Sometimes money नहीं होता है, वरदहस्त होता है, अलग-अलग forms of देवी होता है. So अलग-अलग forms of gods basically are symbolic of their energies. It is not that a Bagla is different from Kali or a Kali is different from Ganesha or a Ganesha is different from Vishnu. They are all the same. Eventually, there is only one consciousness flowing through every single thing. Yes, like everything in this world is made of atoms, but the table looks different, you look different, I look different. But the essence of everything is what? It's an atom. Yes, so the essence of everything is one. But it looks different. It looks different because it gives different energies. इसीलिए गणेश को बोला जाता है विघ्नहर्ता, because the form of Ganesha, it invokes the powers that can demolish or destroy obstacles. The form of Lakshmi, that invokes powers that can give you wealth, that can give you peace. Saraswati gives you energy. And that what you see in pictorial representation, them as human being and having all of these, is depicted in a yantra also. And eventually the yantra also is symbolic of all these points that you see in the yantra is in your body. It actually represents the universe, and then it is all present inside your body. Whatever is in the macrocosm is in the microcosm. And this ye wala point, I can say with all confidence, with so much confidence, because personally, so Guruji used to take us in trance a lot, especially during particular muhurts. And in one of the muhurts, I remember this Avghad came to me in my meditation, and he showed me, this is the yantra, this is your body. And the strongest, the basis of all yantra and the strongest yantra is the David's cross. If you've seen that star. And I want you all to think about it, where is the star in your body? And that is why one particular country is so strong, despite unka jo emblem hai, that is the star. The star is the emblem of the particular country, and it is so strong. Why is it so strong? Because that star is the strongest point in your body, in the universe. That is something that I leave you all to think about. So basically, you're chanting mantras. Mantras should eventually lead to a stage where they are being chanting continuously. Yantras are nothing but representation of certain points in your body. So when you are chanting a particular mantra, like Reem has a different energy, Leem has a different energy, Cream has a different energy, Num has a different energy, Pum has a different energy. These energies, they correspond with certain points in your body. That certain points, again, are part of certain chakras in your body. And these chakras and these points are represented in the form of this yantra. And when you keep these yantras in your house, so those energies which you have invoked, they stay in that house or in that area for a very long time. That is why they say Shri Yantra Rakho, wealth hai. because that Sri Yantra is going to invoke that energy. When you keep Lakshmi, when you keep Ganesha, it is invoking that energy. So it is helping you. And this is why it is so important to be particular, to be careful about what you're putting in your house. Keeping innumerable Ganesha, keeping innumerable Lakshmi is not going to help you. It may actually end up harming you. Yeah, and then simple things like Ganesha is left-sided, Ganesha is right-sided. If you've noticed, there are some Ganesha figures jahan pe soond left mein jata hai, and in some cases where it goes on the right. Right wala is very dangerous. You should be very careful. And I remember, again, Guruji, in one of my friends' houses, there were 3 right-sided Ganeshas. Again, and destiny is very powerful. Destiny is something that is a result of our own karmas. And I remember this particular friend of mine, in whose house there were 3 right-sided Ganeshas. And Guruji was very clear, right-sided Ganesha nahi rakhna hai ghar mein, ek bhi nahi rakhna hai. 3 the. Guruji said, ghar barbaad ho jayega. I went to that person and I told them कि ये हटा दो यहाँ से, नहीं हमको नहीं करना. And I'll actually, and see, these are things that, you know, I did probably when I was 20 years old. At that time, the next 5 years, you don't see the results. But today, if you go and see that family, whatever Guruji said so many years ago, वो सच हुआ है. That is the impact of every idol, every yantra that you keep in your house and which direction you keep in your house. What Tantra has done or what Yantra has, they correspond to particular direction. It is a very scientific approach. They correspond to certain direction. They correspond to certain chakras. They correspond to certain energies. And that energy, like Sri Yantra, of course, Lakshmi will take you towards evolution. She will take you towards self-realization. She will lead you to Samadhi. But while you're on earth, if you are not full here, will you really think about Samadhi? No. If you're continuously sick, will you think about Samadhi? No. So pehle ye wale desires bhi fulfill hona zaruri hai. But to what extent? Because today you have a Toyota, tomorrow you'll want a Mercedes. Once you have a Mercedes, you'll want something else. Yes. So that Ankush lagana, which is what Ganeshji has, that is very important, that you need to put a full stop. Okay, this is it. Okay, this need is fulfilled. But when you need that thing, and then when you chant to that deity, definitely jo hai, aap maang rahe ho, whatever you're wishing for, ye ho jayega. And 90% of the people who came, 98% of the people who came to Guruji or who go to any Guruji or who go to any temple, majorly इसीलिए जाते हैं कामना पूर्ति. Yes or no? Am I wrong? No. Even if you're asking for peace, it is a sort of kamna purti. Yes. Then Tantra uses planets, astrology. Astrology is what? Planets. Some people say, नहीं शिव जी की पूजा करते हैं, कोई planet तुमको affect नहीं कर सकता. It is not like that. There is Joe Biden and then there are senators. And I don't know यहाँ पे local representatives क्या होते हैं. But local road बनवाना है ना, तो local के पास ही जाना पड़ेगा. You can't go to the president for everything, right? So when there is a certain, we were talking about Mahadasha, when there is a certain Mahadasha, it will have its effect. For the negation of those effects or to amplify the positive effects of that Dasha, you will have to please a particular planet. And planets, जब तक favorable नहीं होते हैं, तब तक spiritual evolution and material progress, both are difficult. And they're very easy to please. And planets should be a part of your everyday routine. जैसे आप खाना खा रहे हो, simple things like भगवान को भोग चढ़ाने. Today I'm very happy, खीर है, because today is Friday. Friday corresponds to the color white. So इससे मुझे याद है पर्पल. पर्पल कलर होता है शनिदेव का. शनिदेव क्या करते हैं? हर चीज को स्लो कर देते हैं. I have actually put on YouTube, there is a video of mine which was put in 2020, where I'm talking about why COVID happened and what is going to be the impact and vaccine कब तक आएगा. मैंने तब बोल दिया था. And you can go and check, क्योंकि उस पे तो there is a date, right? It's not that I can manipulate anything on YouTube. So every color, Shani leads to isolation, Shani leads to slow growth. So that is why I was saying purple mat डालो. Purple से क्या हुआ? How many people did we start with? And now how many people are there in the room? Now you know. And you were like, don't change anything. This is the impact of every color that you wear. This is the impact of everything around you. आप क्या color use कर रहे हो? वास्तु is very important. Temple का भी वास्तु देखा जाता है. Otherwise, one can say कि यार यहाँ तो भगवान है. There are gods here. They don't need any vastu, right? Yes. Why do we see the vastu of a temple then? Why should we face north or east? We should be facing south and west and worshipping Krishna. क्या कर लेगा कोई? Because even they give importance to planets. Because if you have a personal assistant, you know you have to give that assistant respect, because that assistant is doing a lot of work for you. Yes, that is how and this relation between planets, colors, gems, This is what Tantra is. So the Tantra teaches you how to use these small, readily available things, how to sit for the shortest period of time, but use the most powerful mantras to live happily on earth. And of course, when you live happily on earth, you leave earth happily. You'll be very happy there also. Yes or no? यहाँ पे जो दुखी है, when you didn't get anything, what will you get outside? वो क्या मतलब भगवान is waiting for you with a silver platter? No, he's not interested, right? So yantras, what you keep when we chant some particular god, uska jo energy hota hai, that is being stored in that yantra, and that is why a particular yantra has particular energy, and that energy will be given in your house. To some extent, these gems that everybody use, they also do the same thing. They have particular energies. So that is why you wear something. Yeah, this stone was recommended by this astrologer. That stone will have some effect on your life, on your house. And isi ko to a very high degree is done by yantras. Yantras have several times more the effect of normal colors or stones or anything. Again, yantras, the material used, you could use crystal yantras, you could use silk, gold yantras, crystal yantras are the most powerful, gold is the second. And Shri yantra, agar kisi ke ghar mein crystal ka ho, bahut Lakshmi aati hai. But again, crystal Shri yantra, real crystal, means the person has to be very rich. So even to reach that level, you have to have Lakshmi Kripa. And the more you have, like the rich keep getting richer. So the more you have, the more you will grow if you are using the right technique. And the easiest way to succeed in life, if you want peace, give peace to 10 people. If you want money, give money to 10 people. It at least comes back tenfold. And if done the right way in some particular muhurts, like daan karna hai, right? I want to feed 10 people. If I feed today, I'll get it tenfold. But then what is the point of knowing Tantra if I'm feeding today? Mujhe to 1000 guna chahiye. I want 1000 times. Then how do I do? So then you use muhurts. Then you use grahan. Eclipse. If I give something in the time of eclipse, again, should correspond to that day, that planet, I will get that thing at least 1000 times. When I'm chanting today versus chanting during eclipse. The effect of that mantra goes 1000 times. When I'm doing havan, the mantra ka effect goes many times. But that same havan, if I do during eclipse, kitna guna badh jata hai. This usage of this knowledge, this is what Tantra is. There is nothing complicated. And Tantra was made for householders, made for Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga mein, we can only give so much time for spiritual activities. That is why this is the fastest way for spiritual evolution in Kali Yuga. This is why it's so important. And then we come to ultimate aim, Tantra again, ek aur cheez ke baad, we'll come to goddesses, the 10 Mahavidyas, and then I will wind up for today. I think bahut zyada ho gaya. So what Tantra does, most important, is Kundalini awakening. Especially for some reason, Westerners are obsessed with Kundalini. They think there is some key that, we have and we just use that and your Kundalini will be awakened. It does not work like that. Kundalini is called the serpent energy because it is symbolized by a serpent or a snake. It lies in the lowermost chakra. There are 7 main chakras in the body. When you chant, they correspond to certain chakras. The lower chakras are awakened generally to a greater extent in every one of us. Yahan pe atakta hai. This is the Manipur chakra or the solar plexus. This is the demarcation, the line of demarcation. Crossing that is a major process. Every chakra is associated with some qualities. So jiska sabse lowermost chakra hoga active, which is open in all of us, that will lead to, interest in food, interest in attraction. They'll just keep moving from one relationship to another and will want a lot of food. You go a little higher, that will mainly food. Uske upar jao, it will be attraction, relationship, attachment. Uske upar jao, when you reach the solar plexus, that leads to power, dominion. And that also leads to understanding that there is more in life than just food and sex. Okay, when you cross that, you reach here. This shows if I hurt someone, I get hurt back. This shows when I love someone, I get love back. And this leads to, awakening of humanity in all of us. Uske upar jao this. Very few people are good orators. Very few people don't have fear of public speaking. Why? Because this chakra needs to be awakened for this. And then there are some people who are very good at convincing others to do what they want. And some people are not very good at it because this chakra is very important. And all these chakras are also related to certain, they also have colors, they also have planets, which we'll deal in some other session. Then this Agya Chakra, which is the command center. A lot of tantrics who spent many years doing sadhanas, they do have the power to actually manifest whatever they want. But a lot of these tantrics, they go from level A to minus, minus, minus. Why? Because this was used in the wrong way. यहाँ तक पहुंच के भी आदमी गलती कर सकता है. So this, I'll give you an incident. First exorcism case that came to Guruji, this person had 7 spirits inside his body. Doctors ke paas gaye, doctor said they are all tumors. There are 5 tumors. They detected 5 tumors. And I still remember I was in the kitchen and this person's mother comes running 11 in the night. And Guruji was not an official guru by that time. He was still, his Guruji had passed away, but he was still a businessman, a householder, living normally. But even before all of that, people used to come to him for help. All as far as I can remember, everybody was always coming to our house and asking him either to do astrology or something else. So this person's mother came at 11 in the night crying that save my son, only you can save my son. And we were all intrigued because ye kya ho raha hai? We were kids. I must have been 15. We were all intrigued. And the doctors gave up on this person because the doctor said 5 tumors. This person can't survive. It's beyond surgery. And then when Guruji started, this was Guruji's first case. Guruji started, usme 7 spirits there. One of the spirits, so Guruji thought at that time, Guruji's guru had passed away. Guruji thought there were only 6 beach mantras of Madhumavati. When he started, ek spirit ko bula ke, and he was very curious. He was very experimentative. Guruji was a scientist. He was a chemical engineer. He was very interested in everything. Har cheez mein. He would just want to learn so many things. So even it was not just, bringing the spirit on the surface and casting them away. He nicely enjoyed conversations with all the spirits. So one of the spirits was an astrologer. He taught Guruji something. And this particular spirit that I'm mentioning here, because we are talking about chakras, he was a very high level guru. There is a temple called Maihar Devi in UP, MP. And he could actually, Guruji used to say Pratyakshikaran, he could actually talk to the goddess, like face to face, 101. He was that level of sadhana. But what happened? He got tempted by one of his disciples' wife and ended up getting close to her. And the moment he did that, Maihar Devi appeared to him and said, for 700 years, you will wander as a spirit. And only then somebody will come and liberate you. So that is why a lot of sadhana, when you see things, when you can do things, when you're so powerful that, you can actually, there's so many people who can actually give you what you want. Even then you can make mistakes. Because the most underrated goddess, in my opinion, is Maya Devi, the goddess of illusion. And then finally, this chakra, yahan pe sahasrar hota hai. This, when you reach, you immediately connect with the divine. But yahan pahunch ke bhi, so it is very difficult for your Kundalini to awaken, but it is very easy for the Kundalini to go back to normal. And to keep it here, like when you have a lot of money, then you need bank accounts, then you need safe, right? And then you have to continuously keep earning. If you just keep spending, it'll go away in no time, it'll perish. It's the same thing with sadhanas. So if I do a particular, I spend so many hours every day, I have to keep doing that. The moment I leave it, everything goes back to normal. So that is very, very important. This is what Tantra does. You have to be careful about what mantras you're chanting. You should know when you're coming, have a goal in mind. And then experiment karo. Then Tantra has 6, there are 6 uses of Tantra, which is done by a lot of people, which is Maran, Mohan, Uchchatan, which gives Tantra the bad name that it gets. But again, in Guruji's word, they were all meant for spiritual evolution. They were all meant for the self, which people have misinterpreted. That again, I don't think wo bhi kisi ko itna interest hai usme, but that is what does. And usme see Bagla Ma, what she does, Bagla Ma does Stambhan. So when Stambhan means mesmerizing, to stop. So as a Bagla sadhak, you will get lots of obstacles in your journey. Bagla Ma stops it right there and there. Aap tak pahunchne nahi deti. That is what Bagla Ma does. Again, in modern times, if somebody is stuck in legal battles, the one power that rescues you is Bagla Ma. Now we come to the final, the 10 goddesses, 10 Mahavidya, because who is Baglama, who is Kali. And iske liye explanation ke liye, I'll give you a very simple explanation which I got as a child, but which was, I think, a very simple way of teaching everyone ki ye hai kya 10 Mahavidya. Very, very simple. No going into any of the spiritual part of it. Kali is the first Mahavidya. Kali ka kaun sa foot aage hota hai? Left. Left is your first step towards spirituality. Kali denotes ignorance, darkness. So when we don't know anything, we are all in the dark. Kali is your first step towards spiritual evolution. Second is Tara. When you get knowledge, what happens? You can argue, you can debate. Nobody can win with you in a debate. Tara साधक का सबसे बड़ा लक्षण ये होता है कि उससे कोई debate में नहीं जीत सकता. And Tara is shown carrying a scissor. Scissor means she'll just cut through every argument. That is what Tara does. And she was the first goddess, the first sadhana that I did under his guidance. Tara ke baad aati hai Tripur Sundari, inki favorite, right? And everybody wants Lalita, Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya is actually much more than just one goddess, but she gives you wealth, she gives you everything. Then comes Bhuvneshwari, she gives you control. Bhuvneshwari 14 bhuvan ke upar control deti. There are 14 realms and you can get control over these 14 realms. Okay? Uske baad Tripur Bhairavi. I'm getting confused. Tripur Bhairavi gives you Bhuvneshwari. Bhuvneshwari ke Tripur Bhairavi. Tripur Bhairavi gives you. Tripur Bhairavi is one of my favorites actually. Tripur Bhairavi. So when you start doing sadhanas, there are a lot of negative forces also. Again, there is no negative force, positive force. You may be negative to some people, you may be negative to some people, but positive to some. It is the same thing with sadhaks. When we start doing a lot of sadhanas, if there is God's force, there is an equally powerful opposing force also, which you may call Satan, devil, जो बोलना है बोलो. But the truth is, अगर वो नहीं हो, तो earth कभी भी फिर सबके सब बैठ के माला ही जपने लगेंगे ना. फिर ये चलेगा कैसे? Nobody will want to have children. Yes, to continue this srishti, you need both forces. Otherwise, we will all be chanting and living. Why will we want to have children? Why will we want to wear clothes? If you have no illusion, if there was no opposing force, कुछ नहीं करोगे. सब अगर भगवान में ही मन लगाएंगे, किसी को जरूरत ही नहीं किसी, then you will not eat. Then the world can't function. So for the world to function, it is very important that there is desire, there is materialism, there is want, there is attraction. Otherwise, the world can't sustain. So this opposing force jo hota hai, so these are like team A, team B. Team B also needs puja part. But koi baith ke consciously, nobody will worship the devil. Yes, nobody will want to. Everybody worships Shiva, but Shiva ke alawa jo Shiva ka jo dusra part hai, wo kisi ko koi nahi worship kar. So what these opposing forces do, the more you pray, the more God and positive energy in the world increases. The more it becomes difficult for these forces to function. So what they do, they start putting obstacles. Isi ko in Guruji's words were Asuri Shakti. That Asuri Shakti wants to stop whatever good you're doing because they want to remain powerful. They want to remain in control of you. So wo Asuri Shakti jo hai, that will start putting impediments everywhere. They will start obstructing whatever, whenever you sit down for puja, you want to meet people, you want to come to the temple, all of that. Because they don't want these positive forces to become so powerful that it undermines their importance. This is when Tripur Bhairavi comes into existence. So Tripur Bhairavi protects a sadhak from these unseen negative forces. Unseen negative forces, mein there are also spirits. So we are here. A Guruji ka favorite dialogue tha, जो दिखता है वो होता नहीं, जो होता है वो दिखता नहीं. And lot of times he actually demonstrated her place. Lots of, these are stories that we can discuss later. So a lot of times we are sitting here, there are also a lot of unseen forces sitting here. Not here also, outside also, clubs में भी जहाँ भी आप जाओगे. But just because we don't have the right apparatus, we can't see them. So to protect us from all of this, Tripur Bhairavi is important. उसके बाद आती है छिन्नमस्ता. Now, these are very simple explanations. Chinnamasta is more than this. But when you get money, when you get beauty, when you get power, then what will happen to you? If I have everything in the world, what will happen to me? I'll become egoistic, right? I'll be like, मेरे से बड़ा तो कोई है ही नहीं इस दुनिया में. So Chinnamasta आपका ego काट देती है. That is why she's depicted. Of course, there is a lot of meaning about that. But I'm just giving you the basic, how the 10 Mahavidyas are representative of your own life. She destroys ego. She destroys ego. When she destroys ego, also, धीरे धीरे क्या होता है? People stop meditating. When you start getting everything, a lot of people stop going to the temples, they stop donating, they stop doing all of this. They lose interest. अब तो सब आ गया ना? Then what happens? Dhumavati Ma comes. Dhumavati Ma takes away everything from you. तुम्हारा husband, तुम्हारे बच्चे, तुम्हारा सब कुछ, and she is depicted as being in Shmashan. These are very superficial explanations that I'm giving you. There is much more to all of this. ये खाली just plain. So, okay, so don't take all of this very seriously. This is just to understand 10 Mahavidyas. So Dhumavati takes away everything from you. And then you're all alone, destitute, helpless, completely in the dark again. And so unattractive that nobody wants to even come close to you. Then what happens? Then Baglama comes. Baglama क्या करती है? सब स्तंभन कर देती है negative forces का. She stops all these negative forces. Then Matangi comes. Matangi is Guru. Matangi is knowledge. Matangi is art. When Guru comes, when knowledge comes, you'll get beauty again in your life. You'll get everything again. And then finally Kamla comes. Kamla is money, wealth, but the most important form of Kamla is Purna Mansik Shanti, complete mental peace. And the whole journey of life is to attain that complete mental peace. Everything else is just means to the end. That's it. The end is this. And this is why chanting, why should we chant a particular Devi, what impact it has on our life. And then mantra sab, how to get the maximum effect from all of this is Havan. That is why I said, aap log baki sab agar miss bhi kar do, Havan mat miss karo. Havan mein sometimes done in the right muhurt, one mantra can give you the effect of 1,000 mantras. Otherwise, 10 times zyada to hota hi hota hai. So what you will chant, get in 10 minutes of chanting, you'll get it several times more when you do Havan. And Havan mein, what you use is very important. Havan samagri, if you are doing it for removing obstacles, you should use certain ingredients like pili sarso, mirchi, nimbu, lemon. When you're doing it for gaining wealth, you should use white things like lai, kamalgatta, makhana, all of these things. When you're doing it to appease your ancestors, you should use chini, meetha, white again. Ghee use karo to prosperity aega life mein. Tel use karo to bhaiya obstacles hatenge. These are the things that one has to be careful about. Then which day? Today when we do Havan, we will focus more on Lakshmi, and because today is what? Friday. Friday kya hai? Shukra Grah ka. Achha, Shukra Grah actually had Sajivni Shakti, which is the power to bring back the dead from, bring back people from the death. Yes, Shukracharya असुरों के गुरु थे, और Jupiter बृहस्पति देवताओं के गुरु थे. But Shukracharya was more knowledgeable than बृहस्पति. So that Shukracharya आज का जो दिन होता है, so today is the best day for getting wealth in your life. Wealth also leads to mental peace if used correctly. Okay. And kal ka jo din hai, we will be working more on Kali, Kal Bhairav, all of this for removing obstacles from life. So अगर किसी को अपनी family से नजर उतारना है, obstacle हटाना है, get your own lemons. Get pili sarso, yellow mustard. Okay. And आज के दिन we will use white, we will work more on prosperity and all of that, and also knowledge. Because Shukracharya. Sunday we will see, as and when Sunday we will focus on Hanumanji and Surya Bhagwan. Because Surya, when sun shines, everything hides. Surya is very, very important. Jiske planet, jiske kundli mein Surya weak hota hai. There are some people with doing less, they get more. And they get credit. Kai loga kya hota hai, in this group of 10, one person will take away all the credit. When you see their chart, their sun will be very powerful. And then there are others who keep working like Saturn. Kiska dekha tha Saturn? She'll keep working, but bechari ko credit hi nahi milega. Koi notice hi nahi karega. So this is the basics of Tantra. And the rest, as and whatever you people are interested in, because everybody has their different goals, everybody has different interest, and then there are particular days for every god and goddess. So that we will discuss as and when we will start doing group sadhanas after 15th of July. Then as per your interest, we will discuss more of what is to come. And tomorrow I'll teach simple meditation techniques, because ye to chanting hai, the Tantra part hai. There is also meditation techniques. I'll work on that, because for getting peace, for just simple that, nothing else. And tomorrow we'll also do some pranayam. Tomorrow when you come for the session, lunch time pe hai, but try to eat less. We will do a little bit of Bastrika and all of that. Okay? I hope answer all. Any other questions we'll discuss after her session. Okay? So once again, Pujya Gurudev ki Jai. Guruji never stopped. Guruji ki Jai. Yes. क्या बोला है?
Just
भक्त